Here is a strategy that can make an exponential impact to the profitability of your business. I know that you're working incredibly hard every day, opening your laptop, you may be sourcing new suppliers, making purchase orders, shipping products, trying to sell, ultimately be as profitable as you can to achieve your goals, whether that is time freedom, financial freedom, be able to live the life that you want with your loved ones, your family, your children, go on holiday, etc. This strategy has the ability to exponentially improve your profitability. I'm going to share with you what this strategy is. I'm going to share with you what actions you can take right now and over the next number of weeks, months, even years or decades ahead. It can literally make the difference of tens, hundreds of thousands of pounds, even potentially millions of pounds. What is this strategy I'm referring to? Economies of scale. Economies of scale. This is truly a strategy that can, if implemented, can make a bigger impact than maybe what you're doing on a day-to-day right now. So let me share with you what it is by definition, and then let's just have a conversation about what actions you and I can take in our businesses to ultimately reap the rewards from this economies of scale. So economies of scale, when I've put this into artificial intelligence or Google, here's what in simple terms, the definition. Economies of scale are cost advantages realized by companies when production becomes more efficient. Companies can achieve economies of scale by increasing production while lowering per unit production costs. Costs can be both fixed and variable. So what that essentially means, in your business right now, you've got inputs, you've got outputs, you've got your sales and you've got your costs, okay? Depending on what margins you're at, you could have you could have your outputs, your sales at this level, you could have your input at this level. What if you had the ability to do a quantum leap and essentially make this gap a quantum leap? Well, that's what economies of scale ultimately is. This is one of the reasons why I've absolutely been fascinated with systems, automation, and scale. From my engineering days, being a part of the steelworks, you know, the volume of production makes a big difference, right? So if you're purchasing a certain amount of products right now, your fixed costs to achieve an output, your cost of sales to achieve an output, that's great and you're generating some sales. But if you was to start taking action on, okay, how can I maximize economies of scale? This can have a bigger impact than just sending out an email or making a phone call or whatever the kind of case might be. It can have a sledgehammer impact on your business to make a quantum shift. So essentially, anything you can do to improve efficiency across your business, that includes, technology. Right now, I believe we're going into the intelligence age. Artificial intelligence is going to make a big impact on efficiencies and automation and systems. But there are some things that you can also do that's not technology driven. So for example, if you're currently selling you've got a great supplier and you're ordering one pallet of goods, and that's what you've been doing. Or for example, you're shipping 5,000 units, 20,000 units. That's what your current status of business is. If you was to now strategically go, okay, I am ordering one pallet of goods that might be 500 units, and I'm shipping currently with all our operations in place, I'm currently shipping 5,000 units at this particular cost. Now what you can do is now you can start to have a bit of conversation with your input suppliers, right? So next time you're speaking to your product supplier, your wholesaler, start asking the question of what discounts are involved with volume. So what can you do if I change from 1 pallet to 3 pallets? What if I went from 500 units to 5,000 units? Is there anything you can do on the price per unit? That can have an exponential input. The same on the output. If you're currently shipping X amount, you can then negotiate with your suppliers, your logistical partners, and you can say, hey guys, we're shipping 15,000 packages. Is there anything we can do to discuss the rates that we're in? Now, if you think about that, let's say, for example, you are able to negotiate even like, let's say, £1 per unit. And that's over 5,000 units. That's now saved £5,000. Or let's say that's £1 per package shipped over 15,000 packages. That's now £15,000 difference on the quantum leap of what that's essentially the result has been. That could be far greater of your higher leverage task than what you could potentially be doing maybe with some inputs and working in your business. Just by having those types of conversations. Now, obviously it's not quite as straightforward as that. You've got to work out costs, build relationships, and there's a lot of things involved here. But one of the things that I've always attempted to do and attempted to share, this is the reason why I've always believed that systems are absolutely key. Because ultimately, if you've got capacity in your systems, right, and you're able to produce more output with exactly the same system capacity that you've got, right? Like, for example, Amazon, they've got huge amounts of economies of scale. Because they're so vast, they were able to negotiate with a partner courier like UPS. Instead of you go onto the UPS website and you say, I want to get a package from here to other side of the country, you're probably going to get a charge that is higher than what Amazon were able to negotiate to ship millions of packages. Because from a UPS perspective, they're saying, okay, I can do this price for you for 1 package, but it's going to cost you £5. Or I've got this order in from Amazon that's worth maybe £10 million, but they've negotiated the price. Now I have to do this package for £2.80. It's like 50% of the price, but across massive amounts of volume. The supplier, the customer here, the supplier of the service provider, UPS, has gone, I've got an order here for 10 million. So let's negotiate that price. That can have a profound and exponential impact on potentially your existing business. If you're doing any sort of volume, whether it's hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I would always recommend that you get into conversations of, what do I have to do to get price breaks? What do I have to do to get a better rate? I'll give you a couple of examples what we've done internally, and then I'll also share with you what we're doing on behalf of partners. You can learn more at systemizedfulfillment.co.uk. But we were using a lot of package materials, right? Tape, for example. And we used to get a local supplier, and we used to originally just buy small little cartons. Maybe it was 50 rolls, 100 rolls, and it would be X amount. Then we started to have conversations about okay, what can we do by ordering larger volumes? Can we also brand it? Can we make the tape better, last longer, be more efficient and more fit for purpose? And in the end, we ended up actually ordering literally thousands upon thousands of rolls, but we got it at literally fraction of the price. Now it's better product and better tape, it achieves its outcome quicker, faster, and less of it. And every single role that we have actually costs less, which essentially means that's one scenario of economies of scale. But there are more scenarios. If you go across your business, what you're purchasing, what your costs are, if you can achieve more output for the same input, or if you can achieve the same output for a reduced input, as in same sales for less price, that can make across your business, now that could be tens of thousands of pounds. So that's one thing that I've always kind of thought about and been working on. Another thing that we're doing right now, a part of Systemized Fulfillment, is we're introducing economies of scale, different pricing for our partners. For our new partners, you can learn more. For our existing partners, we're also getting in contact. The reason why we're doing this is because, number one, is it's our 10-year anniversary, and we always like to do what we can to celebrate and continue to go on this journey together. But two, in times like this, when there is a lot of uncertainty, a lot of maybe instability in the world, and the cost of living crisis and inflation, teamwork becomes even more important. So getting creative. So we're like, okay, if we can if we can present offers, like if you shipping, for example, if you're shipping 10,000 units plus, we can offer this rate. If you're shipping 5,000 units plus, we can offer this rate. Being creative like this really allows, it helps us because we can get big volumes through our process. It also helps you because fundamentally across every single unit, you're saving. It might give you more opportunity to buy further products. It gives you more capital to negotiate better pricing, gives you wide opportunity. These are the things that is going to make a difference over the long term. Short term, absolutely, but also over the long term. So economies of scale is truly a really, really powerful thing. And that's why systems automation and AI, artificial intelligence, is absolutely key. If you can achieve more output with the same level of time, that gives you a quantum leap. AI is a quantum leap. And as costs are rising and rising and rising and rising, the only way you've got to combat that is negotiations to negotiate things down, or use technology to make you more productive, more output at the same levels of quality assurance, etc. So it's a really fascinating strategy. And I know we're always, just like me, we're always trying to, okay, how are we building our business? How do the cogs all come together, and what can we do? And just by sometimes just going, okay, what's our strategy right now? 1,000-mile kind of bird's eye view, and go, okay, if we're able to maybe negotiate this, if we're able to do this, if we're able to do that, it's like you're moving these pieces of the puzzle together. And do you know what? Your suppliers, let's say your wholesaler, if you was able to say to them, look, I'd order 10 pallets right now, what price can you do? They're going to probably willing to listen, because right now, they're wanting orders in. And if they can sell more product, they're going to be more willing to have those types of conversations. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are. If you're interested in artificial intelligence, right now we have got school communities which you can join. We've got a great book that's kind of coming out from an artificial intelligence perspective. But economies of scale is most definitely a key component. My name's Kev, inspiring you every day to keep taking massive action.